So I was working the hives over here. Everything was looking good. I was ahead of the game, and then the hive next to me did this. It blows me away because that's probably one of the largest swarms I've ever seen. I think I've got bad light for you here, I'm sorry, but this is a huge swarm, and I just don't know how they got that many bees into a single deep, but they did, so here we go. Well, this will be interesting. I'm really trying to figure out how I can get up there and scoot them in. You know, I guess we just gotta try. I guess in a worst case scenario, I fail. This is so hard because the sun is in just the wrong spot for me to get in there. Let's see how this is gonna work. It may be a matter of scooping bits at a time. There's the mother load. Let's see if we got her. Bucket of bees. We're gonna know real fast. This would help if I was just dealing with one bucket, David. I don't see fanning. Maybe I did get her. Let's keep scooping up here. Maybe she's in here. Yeah, it's a tough catch. My other option is to cut that branch down. I'm gonna get a brush. Yeah, I knew this was gonna be a tough catch. I don't know it's gonna be this tough. They're marching though. I'm gonna do something a little crazy. I'm gonna go get a saw, and we're gonna saw this limb very carefully, and I'm gonna bring that whole thing down here and hope to hell the queen isn't, well, they'd be all over on the ground if she's down there. So let's go get a saw. Well, we're gonna saw on this tree a little bit and see what we get it to come down. I am seeing fanning on these guys, so maybe I got the queen in there. See, they're fanning there and there. Everybody marched in, nobody's leaving. Now it's just a matter of trying to get these guys out of the tree. So my objective is cut on this tree and just get it to start to lower down a little bit and put the box underneath it. I'm gonna take my brush and I'm gonna brush everybody else in. I don't know if it's gonna work, but it's not the craziest thing I've ever done. Saw guard is off. We're gonna move these bees back a little bit though, since I think they are gonna end up about here. Oops. Am I right? Probably close. A little further back. Luckily this crap is really soft, so with any luck, I can get through it pretty quick here. Look at that, like butter. Now we're gonna see if they march. Look at that. That is just so super cool when they do that. And the tree branches are marching in. That never gets old for me. Never gets old. Look at that. They just march in. They follow each other. They follow, see the fanning on those? Everybody's fanning. They're fanning on the front, and they're all coming in. This is fantastic. Love it. We'll sit here for a minute and just enjoy the beauty of Mother Nature doing her thing. So this was a tough catch because of where this branch is at. So we're just gonna coax them along a little bit here. You push them down. Take out the extraneous sticks and just keep kind of brushing them in. And then you just watch them dive. Diving into the hive. I just keep pushing them because I really don't want to spend all day out here. Like to get them in. I've got to get them moved out of here because we've got big rains coming the next 4 days. And if these girls are not tidied down, you guys will march in, won't you? You guys will fly in. You guys will come in. You're all doing just what you're supposed to do. Thank you very much, girls. Things are a little wild, but they will settle down here. Let's get these sticks out of here. Well, some of them are going to hold tight to the stick because there's pheromone up here from the queen. The queen flies to this branch, lands on the branch, which calls all the other bees to it. So the bees are still smelling the pheromone, and that's why they're still hanging out there. But for the most part, they will all be diving inside the hive pretty quick here. The queen is obviously in there. These guys are marching down. I love that. We're just going to march down, getting given the orders. So everybody march this way, and you guys march this way. I've got to say this is probably one of my favorite parts of beekeeping. Not the fact that I've got bees swarming, but watching the behavior that is so ingrained into them as they act together as a unit and as they move into their new home, which will really basically be, I guess, their old home. I'm trying to think which hive probably swarmed, and I'm guessing the size of it was the front middle one. That's not what I want to have. I'm not sure what's going on. I hope I'm not going to lose these guys. I shook the branch. After I shook the branch, a ton of them started racing out the front. And there's all sorts of hubbub going on. And now they seem to be settling back a little bit. I'm sure the queen is still on a branch. Now I guess they're going back in. Very interesting. Really, really interesting. I'm actually going to try and get some of these guys to go up and in. And then I'm actually going to put an inner cover on to see if I can get them to focus. So let's see if I take these bees, push them up. Are they going in? How many do we have on this side? A few, not too many. Let's get our inner cover here and Finish you off. You don't need to watch that. Well, and that's pretty much how it's done. You know, you sweep them in. If you get the queen, you're gold. As you can tell, they're just piling into the front. They're doing what they're supposed to do. I'm gonna go up and get a ratchet strap because, well, you guys have watched me before, and if you haven't, watch some of my videos. These guys are not happy with me right now. Carefully up here. Well, I'd say the chances for me walking this hive over to that empty hive space and me dropping them, that's pretty damn good. So I'm gonna go get a ratchet strap. We're gonna move these guys. As I said, we've got storms coming in tonight and then actually the next 3 days. So there you have it. I guess what looked difficult was actually pretty easy peasy. See you next time.